Here's a question about bug splat issues and exporting files that turned out corrupt. I'm going to take a stab at this, which I pretty much think what the issue is, and let's see if we can help this guy out. Usually when you have corrupted files that are exported, or it exported and it's corrupted, it's because the size of the project has been overwhelmed by or rather it overwhelms the capacity of the computer. Usually you don't have enough resources in the computer. Now, this can typically happen when you have a rather large project. I have a project here that's almost an hour long, and the other thing about the project is the more tracks you have stacked up, and especially when there's data on each of the tracks right above each other, the more memory is required. But at this point, I'm assuming that the gentleman has an issue with trying to export a project that he has already completed, but he can't because it's overwhelming the computer. You can't salvage an existing project simply by exporting segments of it. In other words, you would start by going somewhere halfway down the timeline, in this case about 25 minutes, right? That should be about right, thereabouts, and cut the project in half. Now, it may be that you got way more stuff happening in the front part, so you could, in this case, for example, move it closer, so you take this more concentrated amount of data and export it. The concept is simple. You export a portion of your project, and then you'll come back and restore the part that you deleted in order to export the front half, and then export the second half. And you would take these two segments and you would start a new project and you combine them. Now you might say, well, why does that work? Why does it actually, it's still the same stuff? And no, it's not the same stuff. When we export this data, we will condense everything in, and I'm talking about not only video but also audio, into a single track. You take any video that's complete and you load it up, it will be a single track. When it's a single track, less resources are required to render and export it. So how do we go about this? And it's pretty simple, actually. And they've recently added a new tool to Filmora to expedite this. So let's say that we want to cut it right here. We will cut the project right here. There's nothing really to cut. So we will simply go to the cursor and we'll change the function of the cursor. We will go into select forward or backwards. And in this case, we want to select backwards first. So we will move over here beyond, up to this line, and we will click as such. And everything, it doesn't matter what track it's on, will be selected. And then we would simply delete it. We'd hit the delete key, and then we would export this. And then we would probably just call it segment 1. And we would export it in the highest possible resolution that we can, because we're going to be combining it again and exporting it again. But it may be that even that's too much. The option then is to lower your resolution or actually cut it into smaller bits than that. But let's just do it this way, and we will export it. And once that's been exported, I'm going to pause here for a second while it does the export. Okay, so we're back and we have just about exported 100%. And this took quite a bit of time. All right, once we've done that, we will just simply close that out. Now we will use the key Control-Z, which is undo. And that brings back our deleted segment. Now we'll change the cursor function to select everything forward. And we just line up there and just like that. We've selected all of that. We hit the delete key, and now we can go and change our cursor back to the normal select. And we do an export again. And in this case, we'll call it segment 2. And then we will run the export. And I may yes, I will go ahead and probably pause this. But you know, it's going to take a while here. It's 5 minutes. So let's try this. Control-Alt-Delete. And let's call up the task manager and pull them in here to view and just see what's going on. We will click on the processes. And we'll see, even with my computer, which is very robust, it has a lot of memory and a lot of power in the GPU and everything like that, it's still taking some time. And you can see I have an RTX video card, which enables me to more quickly export stuff. But even it is reaching its maximum in this one portion of it, the ray tracing. It's not using all of its memory. There's not as much CPU memory because most of it is being pushed down to the GPU. But if you don't have this available, then things starts to get pushed down to the hard drive, writing instructions there. And this is when your bug splats occur. This is where your corrupted files occur. When you have to start reading and writing instructions to the hard drive, then the computer can no longer keep up with Filmora, and this is what's causing the issues. So this would be a good thing for a person to check if they're getting bug splats or corrupted files. But I'm going to go ahead and pause because it looks like we're going to be exporting for another 3 minutes. Okay, we're just completing our second export. And of course, the important thing to remember here is not to do a save on a partial project. Don't hit the save button and lose the front half of your project. So the next thing is to start a new project without doing a save. So go up to File, go to New Project, and when it asks you, make sure you say Don't Save. Then way you have your old project just the way it is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to import segment 1 and segment 2. So let's go to our, here's segment 1 and segment 2, and we will just open them up. Now it's going to ask me to create a proxy file. I'm not going to get into that here, and I'm just going to answer no. I want to show you the difference. That other video that was an hour long had about 100 gigabytes of data on it, and that's why it was big for my computer. You can easily overwhelm your computer with Filmora. Okay, as I said, everything that was on all of these multiple tracks has been condensed into one single track, and this by in itself, and you know what, I should bring up the Taskmaster again, Control-Alt-Delete, and we've got the Task Manager up again. I don't know if it went blank during this process. And what we're going to do is we're going to export, I'm going to, go down here to Processes again, and I'm going to look at the GPU. And let's see if we can, this is interesting. You notice that this, when you load up a project in Filmora, it does what's called a lazy load. In other words, you can start editing. But you notice this green line creeping along here, turning from green into red. And what it's doing is it's rendering it. And we can stop the rendering process. We don't have to have it render actually because we don't really care. But it's using, and when you see utilization here in the task manager, it's referring to that part of the GPU that is being maxed out. There may be one or more, and you can see in this case I'm using some high performance cores, and here are some low performance cores. I'm not going to get too technical on that, but the point is, even though you have gobs and gobs of memory on your GPU, you can still get maxed out. So that's the point here. So anybody that says, "Oh, I got lots of memory," or this or that, there's probably issues along with that anyway. Background render.